Keith welcoming you to our daily affirmative prayer where we're getting ready to use the spiritual technology of transmutation and creation. Those are the two energies that we are diving into. They're happening no matter what. Some people don't use the law of transmutation, they use the law of regurgitation. And regurgitation just regurgitates same old status quo. And I live in a world where status quo is a no to status quo, unless that status quo is bliss. Bliss is what we are all on our trajectory for, and so we want to head in that direction. We are the chief in charge of our lives. We are the chief executive officers of our own lives, and so I'm going to invite you to participate. Life is very participatory. You got to get in. If you don't get into the game, then the game is going to just bop you around. And so we want to make sure that we are moving into a place and a space where we actually take dominion. Dominion's not the same as control. Control is from the ego. The ego is trying to control things and make them happen. I'm going to control my happiness. If this happens, then I'll be happy. Whereas dominion means you get into this sweet space of elegance. This elegance where you feel the divine inertia that's pulling us into joy, into grace, into peace, into prosperity. So good morning. It's good to see Jill and Kathy, and it's good to see Lori, and it's good to see Patricia. And I'm grateful that all of you are joining in this morning as we prepare to move into that space. And also knowing that, one of the critical pieces of prayer is the law of transmutation. The reason that people don't have answered prayers is because they don't transmute things that prevent them from receiving the answered prayer. The only reason that anybody doesn't receive their answered prayer is because they don't allow it to be. We must allow it to be, but allowing can be tricky sometimes, because if you don't know that you have something in your subconscious, deep buried in your cellular memory, in the blind spots, if you don't know, then you think like, well, I guess the universe doesn't want me to have that. Or my pet peeve is when people say, I guess that very thing that I love so much, I guess it's just not meant to be. There's no such thing as not meant to be in the divine, because the divine only vibrates at yes. God only vibrates at yes. So if you have a yearning, a desire from your soul that is seeking to be satiated, it's meant to be. It's actually probably meant to be better than you could ever possibly imagine with your surface mind. But if you allow the divine mind to overwhelm the surface mind, to envelop it so that you have that ceaseless field of divine awareness, then you'll be able to start to feel and sense what it is that is seeking to be satiated in your beingness. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for that divine satiation, whether you know it or not. And if there's anything that you've ever desired and it didn't come to pass, it's because there's something in your cellular memory, in the subconscious, that is preventing it. So then we could go to the prayer within the prayer. The prayer within the prayer would be to heal whatever, use the law of transmutation to heal whatever is in the way. So if there were certain aspects of life that I wanted to experience, I'm going to use a kind of a silly example, but let's just say I had a fear of heights, but I really wanted this job that took place on the 50th floor of a building, and my office was going to be in the corner right up against the windows, but I had a fear of heights, but I really wanted that job, so I was like, nah, I guess I'm not going to take the job because I don't want to be in an office where I'm always going to feel like I'm going to die every day. Well, you could go that route, or you could say, hey, I'm going to heal the fear of heights so that I can have what it is I'm looking for. That's what we're doing. Fear of heights, fear of anything. That's what we want to use the law of transmutation for. So if you have anything that you would like to transmute, I'd like you to think about that. And if you don't know what it is that you might need to transmute, sometimes there's just an apprehension. Sometimes I'll tell you, definite clue, if there's anybody that irritates you, you got something to heal. because there's no irritation in the divine. It doesn't exist. The divine doesn't ever get irritated and go, oh, there's so-and-so, and yeah, but they really irritate me, so I'm not going to grant their prayer, because we know, A, that there is no God that looks down and judges. There's no man in the clouds. There are only laws, impersonal laws, which means that the laws of God are no respecters of persons, and they treat everybody equally. So we all have equal access to prosperity, wellness, goodness, peace, joy, love, bliss, vibrancy, nirvana. That's where we're all headed, because it's going to happen. It's just whether or not you enjoy the happening, or whether you feel like it's a little bit more arduous. So we're letting go of anything that would allow us to feel there's any arduousness, and we're moving into allowing it to be so brilliant and so beautiful and so delicious. With that being said, if you have anything that needs healing, if there's anybody that irritates you, if there's anything that, once upon a time really desired but didn't come to fruition, whatever that is that would prevent it from happening, we're going to allow it to be. And that all of our relationships, I'm just going to invite you to join me, that all relationships are sacred, holy relationships, because cooperation undergirds all life. And then I'm going to invite you to think of that which you would like to create, using the law of creation to bring into your life, to manifest or experience, not at the level of the ego, not that power I want to manifest, but at the level of, ooh, I know what my desire is, and I'm going to allow it to happen. That's dominion, the difference between dominion and control. And so we're moving into dominion by transmuting and creating. And with that being said, I'm going to invite you to hold that transmuting idea and that creation as inspiration of what you would like to bring into your life, experience, know, expand, have. And with that being said, I'm going to just also say good morning to Lauren and to Susan and to Vivian. I see Vivian there. Good morning. Welcome, welcome. And if any of you have any prayer requests that you would like to put in the comments, I will definitely include that in my prayers as well when I review later. Right now, we're just going to move into that field of ever-expanding good. And as always, I close my eyes. You're more than welcome to leave yours open or whatever feels right and good to you. But as we turn within, meaning we turn away from the world of effects, meaning we are not letting the news or situations or circumstances in our lives affect our mind right now, for we are allowing the surface mind to merge with the higher mind. We are allowing ourselves to go into the holy space that is always with us, the holy space of grace that is always here. It never goes anywhere. Peace is ever present. Love is ever present. Wisdom is ever present. Joy is ever present, as God is ever present. And so we move into that. We rise above transitory energies of the temporal world, and we move into the eternal energies. The eternal energy, and we allow ourselves to begin feeling in a space of gratitude. So grateful to know that something wonderful is only and always taking place in the life of God. God is good, is love, is peace, is joy, and so we say yes, all of us, to surrendering, to returning home into that holy light, home into the essence of the energy of our soul, home into the eternal. We allow ourselves to return here. It is always here wherever we go. And so as we loosen our grasp on time and space, as we let go of the past and all energetic connections to it, as we let go of the future and all energetic projections to it, and as we let go of the present, and we open our hearts, our bodies, our minds, our souls to the eternal light, the grace, the beauty, the love of God Almighty. We know that God is omnipresent in every space, at every place, in the furthest reaches of the farthest galaxies, to the closest, most intimate recesses of our bones and tissues. As a matter of fact, there is no space in the divine, so we feel that omnipresence. We return home to it. We know that all-powerful, the same magnitude of power exists everywhere, the same that is right now birthing and collapsing stars, that is spiraling galaxies, that is beating our hearts and breathing our breath, that can erupt a volcano or crash a wave. We open to that holy power, and we know that it operates on our behalf benevolently and elegantly and brilliantly. And so we move into the divine alignment as we melt into the omniamorous, all-loving presence of God. For God is love, bliss, grace, nirvana beyond our wildest dreams, and we allow ourselves to move beyond our wildest dreams. This is the very meaning of surrendering into the holy light. We allow ourselves to remember that each and every one of us, you specifically, me specifically, we are one with God, born in the image and likeness as stated in all sacred texts. That we are born in the image and likeness of God, meaning there is a divine spark of light that has never been hurt or harmed. It knows nothing of poverty, illness, struggle, or strife. It only knows harmony and elegance and brilliance and radiance. It only knows the sacred flow of benevolent abundance, abundance of all good in every way, shape, and form. So we drink of this, we bathe in it, we allow ourselves to be so permeated and penetrated by this holy light as we return home. And we allow ourselves to return to the soul energy, the essence of our true identity. And just as the beam of light is to the sun, as we are to God, every aspect of the omnipresence, omnipotence, and omniscience, the wisdom that has the answer to any question from the purest, holiest space and place of mystical magnificence, we open to that we may be illuminated, that the neural net of the brain be so inspired, that the antenna of our beingness is tuned in to the holy frequency of divine omniscience, the wisdom that can guide us and direct us, uplift us and connect us and fulfill the desires that come from the very heart of God, that seems so personal to us, and we allow it to be very personal. We take the impersonal of the laws and we marry it with the personal of the desire and the deliciousness of cooperation. We open into that. We remember that God is cooperative. And as we seek, we shall find, and we are seeking right now to bathe in the light of vitality, to allow the physical and emotional and mental bodies to return to radiant vibrance. We connect with the energy of passion. For when we are filled with passion, we are connected to the desire of that which is seeking to emerge. We are invincible. For we remember there is nothing against God, only everything that is for in this cooperative field, this holy nectar. So if there is anything that requires healing in our beingness, in our life, in our physical, emotional, and mental bodies, our karmic bodies, if there's anything that requires healing, if there's anything you know of right now, if you have a fear, a worry, a concern, I'm going to invite you, without engaging it, to just simply join me in releasing it. Whether it's a frustration or an anger, a resentment, a sadness, a betrayal, discord, disharmony, whether it is lack of some sort in any area of our lives, we let it all go. We allow the law of transmutation to unburden us from the illusion of separation, from the illusion of lack, from the illusion of fear. For there is no fear in the divine. There is no separation. And so we allow ourselves to experience the energy of transmutation, the alchemizing light. We allow it to flow through our veins and our bones, our cells, for every dimension, through every incarnation of every instance, of every moment. We allow it to flow through the illusions of time and space and to make aright anything that is out of alignment with pure eternal light, pure eternal love, pure eternal grace. We allow ourselves to know what healing actually feels like. The same energy that when we cut ourselves, all of a sudden starts to mend everything. It brings all the cells, all the healing energy to heal the wound. We allow that same healing energy to flow into every nook and cranny, space and place of our physical, emotional, mental, karmic bodies, right here, right now. We allow that grace, that power, that presence that knows no limitation and always seeks. For it is built into the system It is built into our anatomy. That divine inertia pulling us towards our passion is also pulling us to heal everything. And God is 100% brilliance, 100% magnificence, and we are moving towards 100% as an experience. The 100%ness of our magnificence already exists right where we are. As an experience, we are allowing it to matriculate and unfold itself, to bloom and blossom itself, to breathe and bathe itself. So we allow the energies of freedom and joy and peace and passion. We allow that to fill and thrill, that we are filled with more radiance as vitality, as a soft, peaceful clarity and optimism of faith. We fill on that. We fill and thrill ourselves, our hearts, with joy and beauty and self-love, knowing ourselves and seeing ourselves and loving ourselves as God knows, loves, and sees us. We claim it right now. For we remember, in the realm of the human experience, free will means we must choose. We must choose our way back to wholeness. We must choose our way to prosperity. We must choose our way to wellness. We must choose our way to harmony and cooperation. The eternal frequencies that already exist, but we must choose our way out of the illusion and back to the real reality, the capital R reality. We come home, and as we hold in this vibration of divine strength, of clarity, of optimism, of passion, of faith, as we hold into this energy, as we steep and step into this energy, we take a moment and we feel the veil so thin, dissolving the illusion of separation from us and all of our brothers and sisters around the world. We begin to see the dissolution of the illusions that we are separate from each other, and we feel our oneness, that we are all connected. And there is a grid of energy which carries a perfect blueprint of harmony, mutual beneficial love, reverence, kindness, and respect. We tap and plug into that. So I'm asking you to let go of any idea that there is separation between us and another, and feel into the oneness. To let go and know that that which you have done to the least of mine you have done unto me. And so we move into that we only reflect and project goodness and wholeness and peace and joy and compassion and love and generosity. We move back, we return home into the collective. We are all part, each one of us a cell in the grand anatomy of life. And we choose to be healthy, vital, brilliant cells. Cells of pure joy and oneness with each other. And as we hold into this, if there's anybody that you have had a glitch in your relationship, a temporary experience of separation, whether it's resulted in sadness, betrayal, anger, or resentment, or hurt, we let that release. We release it right now, and we allow it to be so steeped, so infused with the energy of forgiveness and of divine revelational understanding, the truest, purest, holiest sense of compassion that is filled with divine strength, that is filled with understanding, it is filled with clarity, so that we may begin anew, fresh. In the beginning is the word we speak. We return to the beginning, which is the eternal. And as we hold that for friends and family members, as we hold it for anybody who has ever had a problem with, we let that all go and we move in. We hold our friends and family members in prayer. Anybody who you are holding in prayer, I invite you to speak their name either aloud or in your mind. And once we speak their name, it activates that coherence, that vibrational frequency of connection. It uses free will and free choice to hold them in a space where we hold them and we see them not as having a situation or a problem, but we see them in their wholeness as vibrant, eternal, angelic beings of light. So I just invite you to speak their names. See that brilliant, effulgent wave of energy. See their divine light. And hold them in that space. In a space, feeling us all rise, for as we rise, all unto us rise. Just taking another moment to hold anybody you have in prayer. Anybody that comes to your mind that you would like to bless. Perhaps you're blessing them with a healing, or perhaps you're blessing them with just blissful, desired, answered prayers of joy, of that which they are seeking to create and experience in benevolent and brilliant and beautiful ways. May hold them in that light. And if there's anything that you would like to create for yourself, we hold that in that light. To experience, to know, to have. And then we bring that energy out again, even further into the world, and what may look like chaos or discord or disharmony from the ego's perspective, we choose to go underneath and above all of that, and know that underneath anything happening in politics, anything happening socially, anything happening in any area of nationalism, we are holding to the highest vibration of all good, knowing there is nothing against anything in the light and life of God. And so we hold into the collective consciousness peace. Peace amongst all races, amongst all religions. We see the end of racism. We hold into that. I invite you to see a world where we're all rejoicing in the brilliance and the beauty of diversity, how God has showed up as all of us in all of our brilliance and beautiful costumes, all the colors, all the nationalities. We just bless into that. We hold into it. And for we know, even at the very core of every major religion, at the golden thread, there is unity, all speaking the same language about the same energy of God Almighty, God all good. So we hold into that. And as compelling as the news may seem to want to pull us into the illusion, we say yes to transcending that and going to the true reality of cooperation and goodness and kindness and wellness for everything and everyone right now. Prosperity and goodness. We see the end of poverty. We see all needs met for all people, including ourselves. So I'm grateful to speak this word, knowing that as we hold into this, we see a world, a planet that knows how to thrive. Mother Earth, Mother Nature knows how to thrive and can heal in the blink of an eye. And so we say yes to that cooperative nature, often found in the native teachings, with reverence and respect for nature. That vibration of the divine that shows up, that guides us and directs us. So we see our cooperation. All systems, all ecosystems, all reverence for the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, we see all reverence and goodness and cooperation, mutual beneficial, magnificent win-win for everything and everyone, for the rivers, the oceans, the skies, the clouds, the mountains, for the solar system, for the galaxy, for the entirety of all life in all dimensions as we move to the one dimension that is the divine dimension of eternal bliss, nirvana. And as we hold this on the grand scale, and we allow ourselves to be lifted in our consciousness, that we may see with our divine eyes, we awaken our divine sensorium, the inner ear, the inner eye, the divine mind. We allow our clairsentience to awaken, that we feel the impulse of good only and always. And I'm grateful to know that we must move into a divinely receptive state of being. We are divinely receptive, meaning we receive the answered prayer as we call it forward, as we invite it, as we evoke it. We must allow it. And so we allow ourselves to move into the divine and to a greater grandeur beyond what we could ever see with the surface mind or the surface eyes. And we allow ourselves to be shown, show us the most elegant, brilliant, beautiful experience for all life, including ourselves. Show me what infinite, benevolent, abundant prosperity feels and looks like. Show me what radiant wellness feels and looks like. Show me. We are divinely receptive. We ask to be shown. That is an activator. It activates it. For when we ask to be shown, it becomes known. So we go from this vibration of divine acceptance into the experience. And so I'm grateful to know that the law of creation, the law of transmutation, which goes behind us to return the years the locusts have eaten, and the law of creation that goes before us to make the crooked path straight. We allow it all to converge right where we are. We bring the eternal into time and space so that we may have the experience of bliss, grace, beauty, prosperity, joy, wellness, goodness in every way, shape, and form. And we know that free will dictates we must choose it, we must invite it, evoke it, and allow it, and we must sign on the spiritual dotted line by agreeing to accept it and saying, and so it is, and so I let it be. Amen, Amen, Amin, Ashe, Aho, Shalom, Mahalo, Hotep, and hallelujah. And so as we come back into this divine elixir, letting it marinate in our bones and our emotions and our minds, just taking a moment to really let it in. We steep and step into this. I'm just grateful for all of you, and I wish and bless you with a peaceful, joyous, passionate, thriving day. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and we'll see you tomorrow during our prayer time, 9:30 Pacific time in the morning. Have a beautiful day. All right, Zoomers, you can unmute if you want. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you. Namaste. Have a beautiful day.
You too.